Do you ever wonder what the Earth truly stands upon? Imagine a world without mountains, no towering peaks to shape the skies, no rivers born from glaciers rushing down rocky cliffs. Picture continents frozen in place, never drifting, never colliding, never creating the landscapes we call home. Imagine the oceans absent, vast ships stranded on empty plains, whales never surfacing, and waves that never dance under the moonlight. Can you even fathom life without soil, that humble layer beneath your feet, which quietly nurtures every tree, every plant, every creature? Imagine a world without the invisible shield of the ozone layer, without the magnetic compass that guides birds and turtles, without seasons to mark time and growth. Imagine the sun blazing relentlessly because the axial tilt never existed, without the gentle cycle of warmth and chill. Imagine the entire planet stripped of its rhythm, its protection, its life-giving balance. Now pause and realize you are standing on this intricate web right now, feeling the pulse of a living Earth that has survived billions of years, shaped by forces beyond imagination. This is the story of how our planet came alive, from rock and dust to the complex, vibrant, and fragile world we inhabit today. Now, take a moment and imagine, can you feel the weight of these forces shaping our world? Can you picture a planet without mountains, seas, soil, or seasons? If you are as amazed and curious as I am, then you are in the right place. Here on this channel, we explore the journey of the universe, from its very beginning to the present day, uncovering the science, mysteries, and wonders that make life possible. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any of our explorations. Together, we will travel through time, across continents, into oceans, and beneath the very soil beneath our feet, discovering how our planet and universe came alive. Get ready to imagine, explore, and understand the forces that shaped everything you see around you. Mountains have always held a special place in the imagination of humankind, standing as silent witnesses to the passage of time and the forces that shape the earth. The Himalayas rise majestically across northern India and Nepal, stretching over thousands of kilometers, with peaks like Everest challenging even the most experienced climbers. These towering giants are not only a testament to the power of tectonic activity, but also cradle diverse ecosystems, from tropical forests at their base to alpine tundra near the summit. The Andes in South America form the longest continental mountain range on Earth, its volcanic peaks and high plateaus shaping the cultures and livelihoods of millions of people who call these regions home. The Alps in Europe have been central to human history, influencing trade routes, warfare, and art, while Rocky Mountains in North America stretch from Canada to New Mexico, creating dramatic landscapes that support wildlife and human settlements alike. Mountains are not merely physical formations. They regulate climate by capturing moisture from the air, creating rivers and lakes that sustain agriculture and communities. The snow-capped peaks serve as natural reservoirs, slowly releasing water throughout the year, providing life-giving resources to regions far below. The geological story of these mountains tells of plate collisions and uplift over millions of years, immense pressures forcing rock layers upward, and volcanic activity adding new material to the growing ranges. As the tectonic plates continue to shift, the mountains themselves evolve, shaping valleys, ridges, and basins over millennia. Indigenous communities have adapted to these environments, developing agriculture suited to steep slopes, terracing fields to prevent erosion, and cultivating crops that thrive in thin soils. Mountain ecosystems harbor unique species, from elusive snow leopards in the Himalayas to Andean condors soaring above the high peaks. These creatures have evolved specialized adaptations to survive the harsh conditions where temperature fluctuations and low oxygen levels present constant challenges beyond ecology. Mountains inspire culture, religion, and art. Sacred peaks are central to many belief systems and pilgrimage routes. Take thousands of devotees every year seeking spiritual connection. The stories of mountaineers and explorers who dare to scale these summits continue to captivate the world. Mountains influence weather patterns, capturing winds and precipitation and creating microclimates that allow diverse habitats to flourish. Their impact extends to oceans as snowmelt feeds rivers that eventually reach seas, supporting fisheries and human settlements. The interplay between geological forces and climatic conditions demonstrates the complexity of Earth's systems and the delicate balance that sustains life. Even in a changing climate, mountains act as barometers, their glaciers retreating or advancing signaling shifts in temperature and precipitation patterns. Scientific research in these regions provides critical data on biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable resource management. The awe-inspiring vistas of mountains, from jagged cliffs to rolling foothills, remind us of the resilience and power of nature. They are monuments of time, carved by ice, wind, and water, shaping the land and influencing life in ways that are both subtle and profound. As the sun rises over peaks, casting golden light across valleys, it reveals the intricate textures of the terrain, the forests, rivers, and human settlements intertwined in a network of survival and adaptation. Mountains stand as eternal guardians of the planet, their story intertwined with the history of Earth and the civilizations that have learned to coexist with their formidable presence. The Earth is divided into vast landmasses known as continents, each with its own geological history, ecosystems, and cultural heritage. Asia, the largest continent, stretches from the icy tundras of Siberia to the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia. Its diverse landscapes, home to over 4 billion people and countless species of plants and animals. Africa is a land of extremes, from the Sahara Desert to the Congo Basin, its rivers, mountains, and savannas supporting wildlife like elephants, lions, and gorillas, and cultures that span thousands of years. North America, with its towering Rockies, expansive plains, and Great Lakes, hosts a mix of climates and human societies shaped by migration, colonization, and trade. South America is dominated by the Andes, the Amazon rainforest, and vast grasslands, providing habitats for unique species and sustaining indigenous communities. Europe, with its temperate climate and fertile plains, has been a center of human innovation, art, science, and political development for millennia. Australia, the smallest continent, surrounded by oceans, features arid deserts, lush forests, and a remarkable array of endemic species, while Antarctica remains a frozen wilderness, its ice sheets and unique marine life critical to global climate regulation. The formation of continents is a story written in the language of plate tectonics. Over billions of years, landmasses have collided, split, and drifted, shaping the world as we know it. Geological processes such as volcanic activity, mountain building, and erosion have sculpted the continents, creating mountains, valleys, rivers, and plains that support life. Climate patterns and ocean currents are influenced by the size and position of continents, affecting rainfall, temperature, and biodiversity. Human civilizations have adapted to these diverse environments, developing agriculture settlement patterns and trade networks that connect continents despite physical distances. The continents are interconnected, or through history and ecology, migration of species and human cultures, trade routes, and technological exchanges, demonstrating the interdependence of global systems. Studying continents reveals the interplay of geology, climate, ecology, and culture, and provides insight into the challenges and opportunities of managing natural resources and sustaining life in a complex and changing world. The Earth's continents are not static entities. They continue to shift, collide, and reshape themselves as part of the dynamic planet, their stories recorded in rocks, landscapes, and human experience, offering lessons about resilience, adaptation, and the profound impact of the land on life and civilization. Each continent is a chapter in the larger story of our planet, a testament to the power of natural forces and the ingenuity of human societies that thrive within their diverse environments. Beneath the surface of our feet lies a hidden world of immense power and silent motion. Imagine standing on solid ground, yet beneath you, the Earth's crust is a mosaic of colossal plates, floating atop a slowly churning viscous mantle. You can feel the weight of millions of years pressing down as these plates drift, collide, and pull apart, shaping the very face of our planet. Consider the immense energy released when two tectonic plates converge, forming mountain ranges. Like the Himalayas, the ground beneath us folding and cracking over eons into jagged peaks that scrape the sky. Plate tectonics is the engine behind earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and oceanic trenches, and every tremor and rumble is a reminder of Earth's dynamic heart. Visualize the Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe of relentless geological activity where magma surges upward, creating new islands and volcanic chains stretching across the ocean. The movement is imperceptible to our senses, yet its impact is profound. Cities and civilizations live in the shadow of these invisible forces. People have felt their might in the devastation of past earthquakes and the awe-inspiring eruptions that create new landscapes. You can imagine the molten rivers of lava slowly flowing from a volcano, carving new terrain, while ash clouds darken skies and alter weather patterns. Consider the slow march of continents as Africa drifts northward, colliding with Eurasia, uplifting mountain ranges and reshaping coastlines over millions of years. Plate boundaries are zones of tension, compression, and shearing, forces that build and break the crust, producing dramatic geological features, ocean basins, and mountain chains. The crust itself is a tapestry of rocks of varying ages and compositions, recording the history of collisions, separations, and subductions that have occurred since the formation of the Earth. As you picture the shifting plates beneath your feet, think about the fragile balance that supports life above. Every earthquake, every volcanic eruption is both a destructive force and a creator of fertile soils and new habitats. Human ingenuity and resilience are constantly tested in regions of high tectonic activity. Engineers design buildings to withstand shaking. Urban planners consider fault lines, while communities adapt to hazards that are unavoidable yet predictable in patterns. Plate tectonics is also the silent sculptor of ocean currents and climate influencing rainfall patterns and the distribution of ecosystems. Imagine standing at the edge of a canyon carved by tectonic uplift and river erosion, the layers of rock telling stories of ancient seas and volcanic outbursts. You can almost feel the heartbeat of the planet beneath your feet as plates grind past one another in slow, relentless motion. The Earth is alive in a way that is subtle yet dramatic, each tremor whispering tales of power, energy, and transformation. The study of these plates not only unravels the history of our world, but also provides crucial insights into predicting natural disasters, mitigating risks, and understanding the ever-changing landscapes that sustain life. Every time you walk on a quiet street or hike through a valley, remember the enormous forces moving unseen beneath you, shifting continents, forming mountains, and shaping the destiny of ecosystems, civilizations, and species. You can feel the magnitude of this process by imagining the slow collision of India with Asia, raising the Himalayas higher with every million years, the crust buckling and folding to form the highest peaks on Earth's plate. Tectonics is the invisible hand molding our planet, an ongoing process you can imagine happening even as you watch this documentary, knowing that every trembling rock beneath your feet is part of a story billions of years in the making. Above the world we live in exists a fragile shield, invisible to the naked eye, yet crucial for life. Imagine the sky as a protective dome, encasing the planet, filtering the sun's intense ultraviolet radiation. Allow yourself to feel the importance of this thin layer that stretches tens of kilometers above us. The ozone layer is composed of molecules that absorb the sun's most harmful rays, protecting ecosystems, humans and wildlife from genetic mutations, skin cancers, and ecological collapse. Picture standing under the blue sky on a summer day, the warmth of the sun on your skin, yet knowing that without this layer, those same rays could be fatal. You can feel the delicate balance that keeps life thriving. On Earth, the formation of ozone is a dynamic process, sunlight striking oxygen molecules, splitting them into individual atoms, which then recombine to form ozone. It is a continuous dance of creation and destruction, constantly regulating the amount of ultraviolet light reaching the surface. Consider the dramatic consequences if this layer were too thin. Imagine the Antarctic ozone hole appearing like a scar in the sky, a stark warning of the effects of chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and other human-made chemicals released into the atmosphere. The depletion of ozone is not just a scientific statistic, it is a call for awareness. You can picture the increase in skin cancers, the impact on phytoplankton, the foundation of marine food webs, and the disruption of entire ecosystems across the globe. Scientists have monitored these changes for decades using satellites, high-altitude balloons, and ground-based instruments, capturing images of thinning ozone and mapping the vulnerable areas. Humanity's response to this invisible threat showcases both vulnerability and ingenuity. International agreements, like the Montreal Protocol, have led to a reduction in CFC emissions, demonstrating that global collaboration can restore balance. The ozone layer reminds us that the Earth is an interconnected system. What we do in one part of the world affects life everywhere. Imagine the chemical reactions happening above your head, invisible sparks in a dark sky zone, yet so vital that without them deserts, forests, oceans, and cities would suffer. The sun's rays, filtered by this layer, sustain the climate cycle's growth of plants and the stability of habitats around the planet. You can almost feel the tension in the upper atmosphere, where ozone molecules are constantly created and destroyed, a delicate equilibrium maintained by the laws of physics and chemistry. Look up at the sky and imagine the invisible shield bending and flexing with the currents of the stratosphere. It is a guardian of life, a silent protector whose presence is often taken for granted. Yet every time you feel the warmth of sunlight on your skin, think of the ozone molecules performing their crucial task millions of times every second. They are a testament to the unseen mechanisms that keep our planet habitable and resilient as we continue to explore, inhabit, and impact the world around us. The ozone layer is a subtle hero in the story of Earth, a reminder that even the smallest concentrations of molecules high above our heads can determine the fate of life across continents, oceans, and skies. Imagine the Earth without this layer, and feel the urgency of protecting it now for the generations yet to come. Imagine standing on Earth, looking up at the sun, its path across the sky changing ever so slightly each day. You can feel the rhythm of time, marked not just by hours and minutes, but by the tilt of the planet itself. The axial tilt of Earth is a subtle slant of approximately 23.5 degrees, yet its influence is immense. It governs the seasons, the length of days and nights, and the distribution of sunlight across the globe. Consider, for a moment, how winter and summer would feel if this tilt were different. No snow-capped mountains in Europe, no long sunny days in the tropics, the balance of ecosystems altered forever. You can almost feel the warmth of summer extending into long evenings, or the chill of winter shortening the days as the Earth tilts away from the sun. The tilt is responsible for the intensity of sunlight striking different latitudes. Imagine the tropics receiving nearly direct sunlight year-round, while the poles experience long periods of darkness and light. This variation shapes weather patterns, drives ocean currents, and influences the migration of animals and the growth cycles of plants. Human civilizations have evolved in harmony with these seasonal shifts, agriculture timed to the rains and harvests dictated by the sun as apparent movement. You can picture farmers planting crops in spring, guided by the changing angle of light, or communities preparing for harsh winters using knowledge passed down through generations. The axial tilt also creates dramatic phenomena such as the midnight sun in Arctic regions, where the sun remains visible for months, and the polar night, where darkness dominates the sky. For the inhabitants of these regions, imagine the psychological and cultural adaptations that arise from living under such extreme variations in light and warmth. Scientists study the axial tilt and its slow wobble known as precession, which occurs over thousands of years, a gentle cosmic motion that changes the timing of seasons and alters the climate subtly over millennia. You can feel the magnitude of this slow dance as it shifts the backdrop against which all life evolves. The tilt interacts with the Earth's orbit around the sun, creating variations that influence glacial periods, interglacial warmings, and the very history of the climate. Imagine ancient humans observing these cycles, noticing patterns in planting and harvesting, and ultimately forming calendars and rituals attuned to the tilt of their world. Even now, modern technology and climate models take the axial tilt into account, predicting seasonal weather patterns and understanding long-term changes in global ecosystems. You can feel the interconnection of celestial mechanics and earthly life, a reminder that a simple tilt of our planet has ripple effects that touch every living creature, every river, and every wind that blows across the continents. The axial tilt is both a stabilizing force and a source of variation, its subtle angle shaping life in ways that are profound and often invisible. You can imagine looking back from space, seeing Earth as a glowing orb, slowly turning and tilting, revealing its hidden rhythm, the tilt marking the passage of seasons and the heartbeat of our planet. guiding the cycles of nature and civilization in an endless dance with the sun. Imagine standing in a vast field, feeling the warmth of the sun in spring. As the first buds emerge, you can sense the rhythm of life unfolding as Earth tilts and orbits the sun, creating the seasons. The 4 seasons are a manifestation of celestial mechanics, yet their impact is deeply personal, touching every living being, from the smallest insect to sprawling human civilizations. Imagine the gentle awakening of spring after a long winter, the soil soft and fertile, the air scented with flowers as plants and animals respond to increasing sunlight. Spring signals renewal, growth, and hope for the year ahead. Farmers observe subtle changes in temperature and day length to sow seeds and nurture crops. You can feel the excitement and anticipation in the air as life awakens. Summer follows with its long, bright days and intense heat. Imagine the sun climbing high above the horizon, sunlight pouring onto forests, rivers, and cities alike. The energy of summer drives the growth of vegetation, ripens fruits, and fills the seas with plankton, supporting fish populations. Birds migrate north to take advantage of abundant resources, while humans seek relief in shade and water bodies. Summer is both a blessing and a test, demanding adaptation to heat and scarcity in some regions. As autumn approaches, imagine leaves turning gold and red falling gently to the ground, signaling the slow retreat of warmth. You can feel a subtle melancholy in the air, a reminder of change and impermanence. Animals prepare for winter, storing food or migrating to survive the coming cold. Humans harvest crops and celebrate abundance. Autumn is a bridge between extremes, a time of reflection and preparation for what is to come. Then winter arrives with its stark beauty. Imagine snow blanketing landscapes, ice forming on lakes, rivers slowing down, and forests lying dormant. The sun lingers low in the sky, casting long shadows, the air crisp and cold. Winter challenges life, demanding resilience and creativity from all inhabitants. Snow transforms the environment, creating opportunities and hazards alike. Animals hibernate, humans adapt to limited resources, yet life persists. Winter also offers moments of wonder. Clear nights reveal stars and auroras painting the sky with light. You can imagine the interplay of seasons on different latitudes. Tropical regions experience wet and dry seasons instead of 4 distinct phases. But the underlying cause remains the same. The tilt and orbit of Earth seasons influence rainfall patterns, ocean currents, and ecosystems, shaping the distribution of plants and animals across the globe. You can feel the subtle orchestration of sunlight, temperature, and weather driving migration, reproduction, and growth cycles. The changing seasons have guided human culture and activity, from ancient rituals to modern calendars, festivals, and work schedules, all attuned to the sun's path and the dance of the planet. Imagine witnessing a year unfold in a single glance from space, seeing Earth's tilted axis, creating patterns of light and dark, heat and coolness across continents, oceans, and forests. Seasons are not merely intervals of time. They are expressions of the intricate relationship between the sun, earth, and life itself, a continuous reminder of nature's rhythm and the delicate balance that sustains our world. You can feel it in the air, in the soil, in the water, in the behaviors of animals, and in the traditions of humanity as each season passes in an endless, beautiful cycle. Imagine standing beneath the night sky, feeling the invisible currents that flow around our planet. You can see it, yet the Earth is enveloped in a protective magnetic field, a vast invisible shield stretching from pole to pole. This magnetic field is generated by the motion of molten iron in the Earth's outer core, a dynamo constantly churning and creating a force that reaches far into space. You can feel the significance of this invisible guardian deflecting solar winds, charged particles from the sun that could otherwise strip away the atmosphere and devastate life on Earth. Picture the northern and southern lights dancing in the sky, vivid ribbons of color caused by particles spiraling along magnetic field lines. You can imagine the energy and power behind these celestial displays as the invisible force of magnetism interacts with solar radiation. The magnetic field also serves as a compass for countless species, from migratory birds navigating thousands of kilometers to sea turtles finding their way to nesting beaches. Imagine the instinctive knowledge within these creatures guided by the planet's invisible lines. You can feel a sense of wonder at this hidden navigation system. Humans, too, have harnessed the magnetic field for navigation over centuries, with compasses and modern technology ensuring travel and communication across the globe. Consider the subtle changes in the field over time, pole reversals occurring every hundreds of thousands of years, a reminder that Earth is dynamic and alive. You can feel the tension in the shifting magnetic north and south, the fluctuations affecting satellites, communication systems, and even the auroras that light the sky during geomagnetic storms. Scientists monitor these variations using spacecraft and ground-based observatories, measuring the strength, direction, and movement of the magnetic lines. Protecting and understanding the magnetic field is crucial for life technology and the environment. Imagine solar storms sending powerful bursts of particles toward Earth, the magnetic field bending and deflecting them, keeping the planet safe. Without this shield, modern civilization would be exposed to radiation and electronics disrupted on a massive scale. You can feel the pulse of energy flowing unseen around the globe, a constant, life-sustaining force connecting the core of the Earth to the heavens above. The magnetic field is a reminder that our planet is more than a rock in space. It is a living, breathing system with layers and forces interacting invisibly, yet profoundly shaping life, navigation, and climate. Imagine drifting over the polar regions, witnessing the auroras and sensing the immense scale of the invisible shield encompassing Earth. Every breath of wind, every whisper of current, a subtle testament to the dynamic energy protecting all living things. The magnetic field is a silent guardian, always present, always active, a crucial player in the story of Earth and the survival of life on its surface. You can feel it if you close your eyes and imagine the invisible lines of force threading across continents, oceans, and skies, connecting all life to the beating heart of the planet. Imagine standing on the shore, feeling the relentless push and pull of the ocean. You can sense the power of waves rolling in endless rhythm driven by wind, gravity, and the rotation of the Earth. Waves are the language of the ocean, a constant conversation between water and sky, shaping coastlines, moving nutrients, and sustaining life beneath the surface. Picture a storm brewing far across the sea, winds picking up and waves growing taller, the energy more traveling thousands of kilometers, unseen yet felt as the first crash hits the shore. You can almost hear the roar of the water and feel the vibration under your feet. The formation of waves begins with wind transferring energy to the surface of the ocean, friction between air and water, creating ripples that grow into rolling swells. Imagine the journey of these swells across open waters, from calm undulations to towering walls of water. during storms. Waves influence marine ecosystems. They circulate nutrients, support plankton growth, and guide the movements of fish and larger predators. You can imagine the delicate balance underwater, where life synchronizes with the rhythm of the waves. On beaches, waves sculpt sand-forming dunes, channels, and tide pools, a ceaseless artist reshaping landscapes. You can picture children playing, surfers gliding, and fishermen timing their departures and returns according to the mood of the sea tides. Another form of waves are influenced by the gravitational pull of the moon and sun, creating predictable patterns that humans and animals have relied upon for millennia. Imagine the tides rising and falling, carrying ships, replenishing estuaries, and signaling the seasons to coastal communities. The energy of waves has inspired innovation harnessed for electricity in wave power plants and studied for navigation and coastal management. You can almost feel the kinetic force of water captured to turn turbines, powering homes and industries across the world. Beyond their physical force, waves carry stories and emotions for humans. The sound of crashing surf evokes peace, or excitement, stirring imagination and reflection. The oceans communicate through waves, a subtle reminder of our connection to the natural world. From tsunamis born of undersea earthquakes to gentle ripples lapping at a lagoon, waves reflect both destruction and creation. You can picture the immense energy traveling silently across oceans, unnoticed yet unstoppable, shaping continents and lives. Waves remind us that our planet is alive, dynamic, and interconnected. Each rise and fall, a pulse in the heartbeat of Earth. Imagine yourself floating on a calm sea under a golden sunset, feeling the gentle rocking, understanding that this simple motion is a part of a vast system connecting the skies, seas, and planetary forces. Waves are more than water in motion. They are the embodiment of Earth's energy, a reminder of nature's power, beauty, and relentless rhythm shaping the world and all who inhabit it. Imagine standing at the edge of the vast ocean, feeling the horizon stretch endlessly before you. You can sense the power and mystery contained within the waters that cover more than 70% of our planet. The seas are the lifeblood of Earth, a dynamic system connecting continents, climates, and creatures in ways both visible and invisible. Consider the depth of the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean, nearly 11 kilometers below the surface, a realm so alien that few humans have glimpsed its dark, pressurized world. Imagine the creatures that live there, with bioluminescent bodies glowing like stars in perpetual darkness. You can feel the tension and wonder as you consider a world almost completely unexplored, yet teeming with life. The seas regulate our climate, absorbing heat from the sun and distributing it through currents that span thousands of kilometers. The Gulf Stream, Kuroshio Current, and Antarctic Circumpolar Current act like massive conveyor belts, moving warm and cold water, shaping weather patterns, rainfall, and even the survival of species across the globe. Imagine a single drop of water traveling through these currents over years, circulating nutrients, carrying plankton, and supporting fish populations that feed millions of people. You can almost feel the pulse of energy traveling beneath the surface. The seas are home to incredible biodiversity, from microscopic plankton forming the foundation of the food web to majestic whales navigating the ocean's vast expanses. Imagine following a school of fish as they evade predators, or witnessing the coordinated hunting strategies of dolphins and sharks. You can feel the intelligence and instinct interwoven into every wave, every movement beneath the surface. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, host thousands of species. Imagine diving into the Great Barrier Reef or the Red Sea, witnessing vibrant corals, colorful fish, and the intricate symphony of life. You can almost feel the delicate balance required for these ecosystems to thrive. Their survival dependent on temperature, salinity, and sunlight. Humans rely on the seas for sustenance, trade, and inspiration. Fishing communities have adapted to tides, seasonal migrations, and oceanic currents for generations. Imagine navigating by the stars and waves like ancient mariners, relying on wind, water, and instinct. You can feel the interconnection of human culture and the oceans that have guided explorers, traders, and civilizations for millennia. The seas also carry immense threats. Imagine a storm developing over the Atlantic, hurricanes spinning with destructive power waves, reaching heights of tens of meters, flooding coastlines, and disrupting millions of lives. You can feel the destructive force, yet understand that these storms are part of Earth's natural system, regulating heat and energy distribution. The seas are not static. They rise and fall in tides, governed by the gravitational pull of the moon and sun. Imagine witnessing the subtle changes as the tide sweeps over the shore, carrying nutrients, shaping coastlines, and influencing the life cycles of countless species. You can almost hear the rhythmic heartbeat of Earth in the ebb and flow of tides. The chemistry of the oceans influences weather, climate, and the very composition of the air we breathe. Imagine the exchange of gases at the surface, the absorption of carbon dioxide, and the delicate buffering that prevents our atmosphere from overheating. You can feel how intertwined life above and below the waves truly is. Rising seas caused by climate change are a reminder of human impact on this vast interconnected system. Imagine the melting glaciers contributing to higher water levels, threatening coastal cities and altering ecosystems. You can almost feel the urgency of stewardship as the balance of seas and life hangs in delicate equilibrium. The seas also inspire art, literature, and imagination across cultures. Picture the myths, legends, and stories shaped by sailors and coastal communities. As they gaze upon the infinite horizon, you can feel the awe, fear, and reverence humans have felt for the oceans since time immemorial. From microscopic plankton to massive blue whales, from coral reefs to vast open waters, from gentle tides to raging storms, the seas are a reflection of Earth's vitality, energy, and mystery. Imagine the planet without these waters, the heat, the weather, the life itself, altered forever. You can feel the pulse of the planet in every wave, every ripple, every hidden current beneath the surface. The oceans are an ever-changing, life-giving force, a testament to the interconnectedness of all living things. A vast and profound part of the story of Earth. You can imagine drifting above the waves, sensing their energy and understanding that the seas are more than water. They are the memory, the heartbeat, and the breath of our living planet. Imagine standing on the very first land, feeling the texture of soil that has been forming for millions of years. You can sense the weight of time compressed in each particle of sand, silt, and clay. The first soil on Earth was not just dirt, it was the foundation of life, a medium where chemistry, biology, and geology intertwined to create the stage upon which all ecosystems would emerge. Imagine volcanic eruptions depositing ash that slowly broke down under rain and wind, forming minerals and nutrients that would become the first fertile grounds. You can almost feel the heat of molten rock cooling, cracking, and gradually giving way to tiny grains that would harbor life. The creation of soil involved the interaction of rock, water, air, and organic matter. Imagine lichens and early microbes colonizing barren rock surfaces, secreting acids that slowly dissolved minerals, aiding the formation of fine particles. You can sense the pioneering spirit of these first organisms, altering the landscape in ways invisible yet fundamental. Soil became a repository of nutrients, carbon, nitrogen, and essential minerals that would sustain plants, and through them, herbivores and predators. The first roots penetrated these surfaces, breaking the soil further, stabilizing it, and creating microhabitats for insects, fungi, and bacteria. Imagine a lush forest forming over millions of years, leaves falling, decomposing, enriching the soil layer by layer, creating a continuous cycle of life and decay. The first soil also influenced climate by storing carbon, affecting temperature, and interacting with atmospheric gases. Imagine glaciers retreating and melting, rivers carrying sediments, forming new fertile plains where life would flourish. You can almost feel the connection between soil and water, the soil absorbing moisture, filtering it, and releasing it slowly to support plants and entire watersheds. Human civilizations have always been intimately tied to soil, from the first hunter-gatherers cultivating plots for wild grains to the rise of agriculture transforming human societies. Imagine the development of irrigation, plowing, and crop rotation, harnessing soil fertility to sustain populations. You can feel the deep bond between humanity and the earth beneath their feet. The diversity of soils across the planet, from rich volcanic loams to sandy deserts, influences where life thrives. Imagine walking across continents and sensing the subtle differences in texture, smell, and productivity. The soil also protects against erosion, supports microbial communities, and acts as a buffer against pollution. Imagine microorganisms breaking down toxins, filtering water, and cycling nutrients. Invisibly but critically, you can feel the pulse of life in the soil, teeming with billions of organisms, each playing a role in maintaining balance. The first soil was not static, it evolved continuously. Imagine wind depositing dust from distant lands, volcanic ash adding nutrients, rivers depositing silt, creating new layers of fertile ground. You can sense the dynamism of this living foundation, the formation of humus, the decomposition of organic matter, and the intricate root networks all contribute to a system that sustains forests, grasslands, and deserts. You can imagine tiny earthworms aerating the soil, fungi extending hyphae, connecting plants, bacteria fixing nitrogen, making life possible. The soil also preserves memory of life. Imagine fossils, pollen, and organic residues embedded within layers, telling stories of extinct species and past climates. You can feel the connection between ancient life and present ecosystems. Through this medium, the first soil represents continuity, stability, and change, a witness to Earth. This evolving story, from barren rock to a planet teeming with life. Imagine the Earth without soil, no forests, no crops, no grasslands, no life as we know it. You can feel the profound importance of these humble particles that support everything from the tiniest seedling to the largest forest. You can almost sense the silent labor of microorganisms, the decomposition of leaves, the formation of nutrients over millennia, all culminating in the fertile grounds we inhabit today. Soil is the very skin of our planet, a living, breathing entity that holds the history of Earth, the sustenance of life, and the promise of future generations. Imagine walking barefoot across fertile ground, feeling the energy and life beneath your feet, sensing that this foundation has shaped the history of continents, ecosystems, and civilizations. Soil is the ultimate connector of Earth, life, and humanity, a reminder that beneath every step lies the profound essence of our planet's story. You can feel the vastness of time, the cycles of creation and decay, and the interconnectedness of all living things anchored in the first soil, the origin of life on land, and the canvas upon which Earth continues to tell its extraordinary story. The Earth and the universe take us on an invisible journey where every mountain, continent, tectonic plate, ozone layer, axial tilt, season, magnetic field, wave, sea, and soil is connected in a grand, intricate system. This analysis will examine each element scientifically, philosophically, and from various religious perspectives, while addressing questions that may arise in the viewer's mind. Mountains. Mountains are among the Earth's oldest structures, formed by tectonic forces deep within the planet. Research shows that the Himalayas formed approximately 50 million years ago from the collision of the Indian and Asian plates. Mountains do not merely shape landscapes, they influence rainfall patterns, microclimates, and biodiversity. Philosophically and spiritually, many cultures consider mountains sacred, symbolizing divine proximity, strength, and stability. A question arises: what if mountains did not exist? Without mountains, rivers, rainfall, distribution, and ecosystems would be drastically altered, affecting life and human civilization. Continents. Continents are vast landmasses shaped by the movement of tectonic plates. Geological research and satellite observations confirm that continents drift over millions of years, shaping climates and migration patterns. Religiously and philosophically, continents are seen as a manifestation of order, structure, and divine design in various traditions. Question: how does continental drift affect life? The answer: it directly impacts biodiversity, migration, and the evolution of species. Plate tectonics. Plate tectonics drive earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and mountain formation. The motion of molten iron in the Earth's outer core generates these forces, which are essential for geological development. While they can cause destruction, tectonic processes are vital for the recycling of minerals, soil fertility, and even maintaining the planet's magnetic field. Philosophically, tectonics reflect the balance between change and stability in nature. Question: are these forces dangerous? Yes, but they are necessary for life and the planet's dynamic equilibrium. Ozone layer. The ozone layer protects the Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation. NASA and WHO studies show that depletion can increase skin cancer rates and disrupt ecosystems. Philosophically, the protective layer symbolizes the unseen safeguards that sustain life. Question: could life survive without ozone? Not in its current form. The direct sunlight would be devastating to both terrestrial and aquatic organisms. Axial tilt. Earth's axis is tilted at approximately 23.5 degrees, which creates seasons and variations in day length. Scientific models indicate that any significant change in axial tilt could drastically alter climate and life cycles. Philosophically, axial tilt represents the balance and order inherent in the cosmos. Question: is life dependent on this tilt? Absolutely. It regulates climate, ecosystems, and agriculture. Seasons. Seasons result from axial tilt and Earth's orbit. Observational data from NASA and NOAA demonstrate that seasonal variations shape agriculture, biodiversity, and human culture. Question: what if there were no seasons? Crop failure, ecosystem disruption, and human survival would be severely affected. Religiously, seasons have been interpreted as a reflection of divine cycles and natural order. Magnetic field. The Earth's magnetic field shields life from solar radiation and enables navigation for countless species. Generated by the dynamo effect of molten iron in the outer core, it is critical for sustaining life. Question: what if the magnetic field vanished? Radiation exposure would increase, and animal migration, satellite operation, and communication systems would be disrupted. Philosophically, the magnetic field is an invisible guardian, a metaphor for life's unseen protections. Waves. Ocean waves transfer energy, shape coastlines, and regulate marine ecosystems. Research highlights their role in nutrient distribution and climate regulation. Question: could marine life survive without waves? Waves are essential for oceanic circulation, nutrient mixing, and ecosystem stability. Philosophically, waves embody the rhythm, flow, and constant change inherent in nature. Seas. Seas are Earth's largest water reservoirs, regulating climate, biodiversity, and human civilization. Questions: what happens if oceans are depleted or polluted? Answer: climate disruption, biodiversity loss, and threats to human survival. Studies from UNOceans, NOAA, and marine biology confirm these critical roles. Philosophically, seas are the cradle and sustainer of life, a continuous source of inspiration and awe. First, soil. Soil is the foundation of terrestrial life. Scientific studies reveal that soil formation depends on weathering, microbial activity, and organic matter accumulation. Soil stores nutrients, supports plant growth, and maintains ecosystems. Question: could terrestrial life exist without soil? No. Life as we know it would collapse. Philosophically, soil represents Earth's memory, sustenance, and silent protector, a medium connecting past, present, and future life. This documentary demonstrates that every element of Earth is interconnected. Scientific evidence and historical observations confirm that mountains, continents, plates, ozone, tilt, seasons, magnetic field, waves, seas, and soil are indispensable for life. Philosophical and religious perspectives suggest that these systems reflect a natural and divine order. All questions arising from viewers' curiosity have been addressed scientifically, environmentally, and philosophically. If you enjoyed this documentary and analysis, please like, subscribe, and share so we can continue to provide in-depth, research-based, and documentary-style content. Disclaimer: this story and analysis are based on current scientific research, observational data, and global sources: NASA, Nat Geo, CNN, BBC, UN reports. Religious and philosophical perspectives are included for educational purposes only, without favoring any single belief or doctrine. This content is intended for informational and educational use. It should not be used as legal, medical, or personal advice.